Well, I'll begin by saying, what we thought would be an exciting evening turned out to be a disappointing evening. I told my team I was, certainly excited, coming into the game about their preparation and the way that they thought about this game, what they needed to do physically, mentally, all the things that we talk about. I was excited about their preparation. They were ready to play. I take ownership in not getting our guys in the right position tonight, and we just did not make the best of the opportunities that we had. And then certainly a lot of things didn't go the right way tonight with not being able to get off the field on third down, turning the ball over on offense. And it just seemed there were at times some key things in the game that didn't go our way. And so one of those nights where you look at it and its totality, and look, take nothing away from Alabama. They played very well tonight as well. But we're dealing with a second loss now in the SEC, and we're on the uphill, certainly. But we've got to, as coaches, we've got to put our guys in a better position to succeed. That's the challenge that I have. I own that, and we've got to play cleaner football, and we've got to get off the field. Certainly, those are the two big takeaways for me in terms of the game itself, and then certainly, some of the untimely things that happened during the game that were critical, that really put us back relative to the game itself, whether they were untimely penalties or third down conversions. They all impacted the game and the eventual outcome. So with that, we'll open it up to questions.
Like you spent a lot of the second half talking to Blake, just talking to him on the sideline, trying to figure some things out, I guess. Is that what you were doing? Were you able to come up with any answers? Yeah,
again, look, if you're watching the game, you're like, what did these guys do for 2 weeks? Like, we have a scheme to stop the quarterback. We did not get that done. So I take responsibility for it. Blake is not going to hide from the responsibility, but we also have to put our players in the right position too to take advantage of what they're capable of doing. So we own it together, and we've got to get it fixed, certainly, because it's been a couple of weeks now, in 2 games. So I respect the inquiries and the questions, because we now go into these last 3 games with the need to win all 3 of these games and play better football in the month of November.
Coach, when you're sort of talking about trying to find the right way to put the guys in the right spot to make plays, are you talking about just trying to find the right schematic fit for these guys, the right schematic answers?
Yeah, so it's a little bit about, we're not reinventing the wheel when it comes to defending the quarterback. There's only a couple of ways to defend him, and so we have to be able to get our players that we're not trading any of them. There's no waiver wire. We're not, bringing anybody up from, the demo squad. We've got to come up with the right answers on what works best for the guys that we have. And it hasn't worked very well these last couple of games. So we've got to go back and start all over again and look at what's the best way to defend in certain situations with the players that we currently have. Because they want to do it. They were ready. They were locked in. They were focused. They they had the right mindset coming into this game.
Coach, how do you approach the last 3 weeks of the season knowing that the college football playoff is likely out of the question?
Yeah, I think everybody asked the same question. We really, look, they're disappointed. We're disappointed in the way we performed. You know, we're not going, these guys are not like, hey, we're out of the playoffs. That's not what they're disappointed, and I'm disappointed that we didn't live up to the standards of LSU football. That affects us more than the damn playoffs. We're disappointed. When you put on the jersey for LSU, there's a standard of football that those 3 letters on your jersey, it's a prerequisite. And we didn't live up to that. That's the disappointment.
Brian, you mentioned got to get it fixed. In the coming days, weeks, months, how do you address the deficiencies that you see in this program? How do you go about fixing it?
Well, deficiencies are a relative term, right? I mean, we just beat, we beat Ole Miss here in a great game that beat Georgia, right? I mean, we went on the road and beat, a really good South Carolina team, that had a great victory, against A&M. So playing in the SEC is a dogfight. We did not play up to our standards tonight. So, fixing is a relative term, right? We have to do some hard thinking relative to how do we put our kids in a better position to succeed. And then, quite frankly, take care of the football. We've got 6 turnovers in the last 2 games. If I told you you're going to turn over the ball 6 times against A&M and Alabama, how do you feel about that? I'd say not very good. As well as, we got to get off the field, and stop the running quarterback. So those, when you break it down, are really the big things that we'll be looking at.
In the back. After the USC game, you had referenced sort of a feeling on the sideline with the players that maybe they felt like the game had been won before it was over. Was there a point tonight where you felt the opposite might have been true, that they felt like they were out of it before the game was over?
No. I mean, those guys kept fighting, kept playing. You saw we scored with, 11 seconds to go? I think that's probably a pretty good indication. They blitzed 7 against us with 22 seconds to go. They didn't quit. We didn't quit. We kept playing. We didn't look at the scoreboard. They didn't obviously look at the scoreboard. They didn't want us to score. Nussmeier got knocked down and got a personal foul penalty with about a minute to go in the game. That was 2 teams still playing right to the very end.
Offhand, from your view, particularly early in the game, what was the biggest problem on 3rd down?
I mean, I'd have to go back and look at. 3rd down is about, first of all, staying out of 3rd down and long. As you know, the national percentages of success on 3rd down are about 40%. So stay out of 3rd and long, I mean, generally speaking. I mean, some of it is about, decision making. Some of it about blitz protection. Some of it is a little bit all of that. We've been really good in 3rd down situations traditionally during the year. I think, again, the turnover really put us back. The face mask penalty was a momentum killer for us in the game. So, I could sit here and kind of, the bottom line is we didn't play to the standard of LSU football. That's on me. I've got to make sure that we put our players in better positions to succeed, and that's the work I'll do. 3rd down is, and I'm not poo-pooing the question, but 3rd down is something that I think we can work through and continue to get better at.
Right over here. Just
Yeah.
with the red zone offense, it's been a couple weeks now. It's just been tough to kind of convert touchdowns. Just what are you seeing in that area, and just how do you go about, I guess, trying to get it on the right course of the last 3 weeks?
Red zone is about, at the end of the day, having a great running game where you just chew people up in the running game, or you've got a veteran quarterback that is smart, savvy, experienced, and picks. And I've had both. Garrett's getting there. He's a first-year starter. He's learning the ropes. We've been just okay running the ball, and that's why we have our fits and starts in the short field areas.
Can you just talk a little bit more about the turnovers and how they're kind of self-destructing, when you've got things going, the interception in the end zone and some of those things?
Well, the first turnover was mechanical in the sense that, we had the ball in one hand. Quarterbacks, when they get flushed out of the pocket, and Garrett will tell you this, he should have had a second hand on the football. However, we had a young guy in there who missed the protection. He got flushed. And hence, we can sit here again and talk about all the particulars. The bottom line is we turn the football over. We got to go back and we got to work on that. And we got to get two hands on the football. Those are fundamentals. That's on me. That's on coaching. We got to coach better and make sure that gets done. The second one was bracket coverage. And unfortunately, I have seen that interception way too many times in my career. It is a free linebacker that can just drop, and you have to play with touch and throw to the back line, and we just didn't do it there. So I feel like I'm standing here trying to make excuses, and I don't want to do that. We just got to coach better in those situations.
You keep mentioning playing up to the LSU standard.
Yeah.
Can you put your finger on why that just didn't happen tonight?
Well, I mean, I think I've kind of talked about a little bit of it, right? The inability to get off the field on third down was, tactical in some instances, not being leveraged on the football the right way. Again, it wasn't for lack of effort. It wasn't for a lack of want to. We have to continue to work with the guys that we have out there. We got a lot of young players out there. And whether it's freshman running backs or a freshman playing the nickel position or a first-year starter here or there, we just can't make excuses, and we just got to keep working with them and keep coaching them. They were ready to play. But we've got some inexperience that we have to keep working with, and we got to put them in better position to succeed, and that's on me.